Inaya Oakroot joins me today from Sweden, and I welcome all of you for tuning in to join us on Awaken and Ascend. I'm Jennifer Regular, the host, and where I get to interview all these global innovative light leaders on a mission to uplift humanity and raise the vibration of the planet. So let me introduce you to a guest who is transmitting love, wisdom, and insight that makes us all feel happy, lighthearted, and of course, in flow with the source. Inaya is an artist who traveled through life with art as a tool for survival, healing, and searching the beyond, to later find the magic of being an earthling. Aren't we all here on this earth walk right now, moving our human form through life? And through her latest book, Unfolding, Awakening to Your Pure Potential, and through her retreats, she discovered the pure existence of the yin-yang, which took Inaya to her most powerful tool, combined with sound, divine duality. These practices made her confident that divine duality will heal the misuse of duality. Inaya and I have a joint mission to lighten the path for humanity. I am so excited, Inaya, that you are here with us today. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. And thank you for being here again. I loved our last conversation.
Yes, our last conversation on the Wake Up and Change the World Global Summit, which was really something when we get to bring everyone together. And now we get to spend a little bit more one-on-one time and, of course, with the audience. And I love your idea, not even just an idea, your practices, your discovery about divine duality and how we're lighting the path for humanity. And so I'm really curious about that, Inaya, what actually lit your path? Where did you find that inspiration to follow your calling?
I believe that we all have a calling, and we are some of us that it's like you can't resist it because then you don't exist. It's not a matter of choice and not a matter of courage. It's just no way to do something else. And I don't know where it comes from. And it started as early as I remember, being different from my family and everything. And I feel that we are many that really can relate to that thing, that whatever we choose, it will be a hard time, and we can't neglect our inner call because it's the only safe place in a way. That's my experience.
That's a really powerful message in there about existence and finding our place in the world. And I remember feeling like in some of my darkest moments, being a visionary and then not having a vision for my life. I couldn't see my future. And it was terrifying. It was scary. And it was like, as a visionary, how can I not exist? Yet not have that vision. It felt like I didn't exist.
Yeah.
And it was really questionable. Then what's the future? What am I here for? What is the path forward? And what needed to be lit up and illuminated so that I can see it and move towards it and really embody it, and this is what I find is part of the issue and the challenges when we don't engage in soul care. There's so many costs to that, in that we start following in society's footsteps or obligations or the fear or in shame or in other ways that disempower us or dispirit us. And then we start reacting to life instead of fully embodying it. And so I know that's a common challenge among many of us on our path of healing and transformation and embracing the change. And yet there's this call, this drive, this nudge that's moving us towards what it is that we are here for. And it's incredible. And that's what I call about freeing your spirit to direct the life that you're meant to live. It's spirit that moves us. And when we're dispirited from society, authority, even our family, sometimes our own negative self-talk, that it's hard to move then. We become stuck.
And yeah, and also even though I always have followed my inner call, sometimes it's like a vacuum of several years of not coming anywhere and not having the trust, but not having any other solution than to continue listening. And it's like a vacuum, and I don't understand how my life will evolve. But then, like hitting the rock bottom, there comes solutions always.
Yes.
And it's not an easy life, really, and I think nobody has. So
this is true. And going through it is what empowers us, because then we learn what we're actually capable of, and we grow our capacity, to be able to bring in our gifts and our challenges and be able to embrace all of that, including our fears. And we talked in the introduction about the misuse of duality and how you discovered a divine duality. So I'm really curious about really what all of that means and how divine duality supports us to understand how to really use duality, or if duality even exists. So please tell us.
Well, in my way of seeing it, it's first of all, I have been all my life has been about being a creator, being creative. What you say in English? Creative. You say so? Yeah, I'm from Sweden. That's it. So anyway, and always in the creativity, it's to combine two things and coming into a third. But I didn't realize what was the flow and what was coming, that creativity was so tempting for me, or like being all my life. But then, first of all, I had two parents that always have different ideas of what was good and bad. So I could never follow any straight line that was very, it was okay for both my parents. So I had to follow my inner core. And so I am born with really the duality in fighting each other. And as a second child, we are always like the balancing factor. So I think I'm born to really try to find out about this thing that is duality. And that's my really core issue. And so anyway, everyone has this duality in us because we are born to see everything that's as something or the other, good or bad. And we have split ourselves from being one with ourselves. It's like we see our body and judge it, and we see our emotions and judge them, and we see that we are not good enough in things. And our society have taught us to be in this way. And actually all the suffer that we have experienced have come from this separated mind. And the mind in itself is separated when it's not embedded in the heart field, in the field of the heart. So every one of us can feel very safe, secure, and in trust if we just know how to come to oneness with our three intelligences, that is our brain, heart, and body. And within that, we start to experience that everything of duality is actually two parts that creates reality every time. And so divine duality is when two counterparts meet instead of judging the other. And it's very effective. I had a retreat about 1 month ago, and everyone who came to the retreat and was there, they had so many breakthroughs, and it's remarkable. I don't know how I can express this more than just make you, as who are here today, to experience it. So I invite you, if it's okay, to just make it a short experience of divine duality, because it exists in the every here and now, and it's just our way to perceive duality that is the difference. And when we can meet and match and merge with two things that we are judging, it starts to solve the energies that we have created, and the world will be totally safe and calm if we just try to make this way of seeing reality as our birthright and as our reality to live from. So it takes time to live from it.
It does take time to live from that, and it's a practice and a curiosity that we can bring to it, and openness and a willingness. And I welcome that. I welcome this experience.
Yes, it's it's like one of our retreat. The women, one of the women women in the retreat, she really had a hard time with 3 sons in a teenage, just feeding them herself, having all the cost of herself. She had a job that she didn't like, but she had to have it. And after coming here and being with Divine Duality and start practicing the tool, she came back and was so surprised that she loved her job. Isn't that interesting?
Wow, the same job. She loved it now after.
Yes. And it's not that I want people to come back to their cooperative work and do it, but I believe that people, when they come back to work with the joy and seeing it, they also shift the work. They change the work. So we are not like robots producing in a place where we don't believe what it does, and we don't like it what it does. We change it by being changed ourselves.
Yes. And so, Inaya, is the Divine Duality then similar in thinking to unity consciousness?
It's including unity consciousness.
Okay.
In my way of seeing it, it's like, from first we see it as a God or Big Bang or something, but actually before that, I believe there were only the void, the blackness, and the blackness and the void is everything that we have around us and surrounding us, and it is love. Love is the only existence from origin, in my way of seeing it. And within being a void for a very long time, love started to create consciousness, and consciousness is light. And then we came to 2 energies, consciousness and pure potential. So yes. The blackness is pure potential that hasn't evolved to any specific place. And when we start to be able to experience this energy of black and white, the yin yang, the interplay with the ecstasy of the pure potential and the consciousness that want to manifest, when we can understand this energy that is like the sun, exploding and imploding, and create, that is an ever existence, that all our thoughts and all our emotions and everything creates in this space of consciousness and pure potential. And when we see oneness as a one, we can see it as the 2 when they are more static, when they are in peace and just like like that, you know. But when they explode in their ecstasy, they create the child and the third element. And that was happening in Divine Duality, when two opposites, if you say something that you judge yourself for and forgiveness in the other side, and you start to make them come together in this process, it's a healing process. When they come together, it's an energy shift in what you judge yourself for. And when they come together as a new energy. It's not the one or the other, but a third. So then unity consciousness is a thing, ever evolvement, you know. It's like it's what always happens in creativity. And when we experience that, you know, can see the oneness in a triangle as a top point, and then we have the two counterparts here in the sides, the judgment and the forgiveness. There is an area of a triangle in the middle, and that area is a pure potential to create from the new, from the child. So when we have experienced the forgiveness of our what we judge, a new energy has been created in us. And if we just go further in it, not just stopping with that, but go further into the area that we have as our space to create from, it's just amazing. There it comes flow, because when we are in the middle, when we meet, it's as the child, spirit comes in. So it's not one thing and the other, but it's one thing and the other and spirit. And when we are in spirit, we are a creator of our life.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for bringing us insight and understanding.
I hope I was clear enough.
Oh, yes. Very clear. And, you know, and it was very felt deep in the heart, like you would expect for truth, you know, that you feel it deep in the heart as you're speaking about this. Yeah.
It's always something with the third element, you know. It's like if you have a person, any person that you don't know or anything in front of you, and you take the universe of love through that person, you will get the pure potential of that person's energy to you. So it's also always about the number of 3, I believe, you know, when we're not in the one line of duality, but come to the third. So divine duality is the third.
I love it. Come to the third.
Actually, I feel that is the new paradigm, because we have been in oneness and we have been in duality, and the duality has come to a place where everything is in chaos, in its end point of chaos, because everything is like totally smashed and matched and merged, and with different countries, different everything, and it's the speed of light in all the changes that we can't know for sure what is tomorrow. And so we have to start to relate to our inner knowing, because that's the only place that is stable. So everyone, I believe now, are forced to come to start to listen from inside and trust the inside. And when we do that, we are in a healing path to the third energy, that is divine duality, that it's not next paradigm. That's what I'm really feel is so clear for me.
Mm-hmm. And so how do you bring people into that paradigm? And you've given us some insights and awareness. And how do you work with people so that they can experience this as profoundly as you do, for
Yeah.
example?
People, we have certain ideas of worldview. So first of all, it's so much easier to come away from the worldview if the person just is willing to meditate, or willing to go inside and create a unity field between the third intelligences that we have. And there I just invite them to different ways of seeing, their what they have, what they judge, or what they feel stressed about, or what they have. And if they don't know the counterpart of it, I find a counterpart and I invite them to make them meet together. And people cry and they shake when they go in there, and it's really a process. It's not like and when they come through, it's such a wonderful cry of release.
Mm-hmm.
And also I work so much with sound, with vocal sound,
Mm.
and teach my clients how to sound themselves free and use their own voice, because our voice is such a powerful tool to cleanse up ourself and to come to a state of balance again, and also healing.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. And the healing, it's wonderful at the other end of it, but there is something to go through. There's a lot of powerful release. And as you say, the shaking, the crying, the transformation that happens, as we
Yeah.
go through it. And
So it's
it's
all,
worth it. It's worth it.
yeah, it's worth it. We
You
cannot
create,
choose
yeah.
something else, because life needs us, and we need ourselves to be balanced. And always when I start with a client, I start with a grounding and open the crown, and I do it with a voice, because we often are ungrounded and haven't got this opening to source. And when we don't have it and we do a healing job, it's just going around in our bodies. So we need to have this transformational energy from earth and to source to be able to heal and to release what we have, what we carry in our energy field.
That's really the first step, isn't it? After having the willingness to go through the healing, is have that conscious connection, is to open up the crown, to open up to source. And to, like you say, zoom out of the world view and be willing to access the inner view.
Yes, because why we need to go into our corporated intelligence, it's because otherwise our brain will select before we go there. It will, and the brain understand history and it understand logic, and if it doesn't suit our logic or our earlier experience that we have accepted, then we don't take it in. But if we are willing to go and balance our energy field, then our field are open and our experience will tell us that this is truth. Our experience is just so overwhelming, so we cannot say that this is not true.
Yes.
It's like people ask me, when I a long time ago, like 40 years ago, I collected some minerals, stones like these, and people say, oh, do you believe in that? But I had such an experience that just blew me away with the stone. So I couldn't say, no, I don't believe in it. They take over.
You know, it's interesting that you mentioned about balancing the energy field, because that's one of the biggest mistakes that people make. It's very common to think that balance is coming from, organizing our life in a certain way,
Yeah.
and trying to find balance somewhere, or, looking for things outside of ourselves to find balance, when really the balance is about centering
Yeah.
yourself and balancing your energy field, and, like you say, creating that safety and stability.
Yeah,
This
and
stuff coming
it's not strange that we search for it from outside, because everything we have been living through in school and everything we are taught from outside.
Yeah,
We are taught that we are not trustful. We are if we are not scientific, if we are not in the line of the theme that rules the world just now, we are not in a space where we can survive. It's like we have to follow the rules from outside, otherwise we will be not accepted. And so it's a way of the old paradigm.
yeah,
And well, it's such a brave thing that start to listen inward if we don't have that inner hearing, because we have thrown it away before. So it's such a, I am just in awe of every brave person I meet that comes to me.
it takes bravery, it takes courage, and yes, and if people do want to go deeper into this and discover more,
Mm.
how would they contact you?
Oh, yeah, I have a free discovery session in my homepage, oakrootspiritualacademy.com, and
Well,
people
perfect.
go there and book a time. So it's so easy. Just have a chat, and then I see the person, and then we see what. Maybe it's just a chat for 1 hour, or maybe I can help them further. It's it's not nothing that you have to go further with if it's not suits you. So it's we are so many healers and so many wise people, and everyone are, and we have different paths that we need to go through, and we do it together. So I also have teachers that I go to, but I think we go for our intuition, even though we maybe don't know that we have the intuition.
Hmm.
But especially when we have dark times, I absolutely have had, I lived for 10 years in hidden address, for example. So when we have our dark times, we really, really go to the wall where we have to go for another path,
Hmm.
where we see our guidance, because in the darkness we can really experience the light and what is real, what is not real.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I love it. I love it. And I highly recommend that people do discover more and book a discovery session with Inaya. I also have a couple of free ebooks. If you're not ready to meet with one of us, then there's always a soul care guide that'll help you find solace in everyday life, or living your passion and your purpose. So there's some guidebooks in the video description, along with the links to contact myself and to contact Inaya. We're here for you. We're all here for each other. I love Ram Dass's quote about we're all just walking each other home. I really,
Mm.
really love that. And I loved our conversation today, Inaya, and all that you brought and transmitted for us. Thank you so much for being here. And I wonder if there's anything else that you want to leave us with before you go.
I believe that everyone's hardest spot is to trust. So go for your inner vision, even if you don't trust it. Because it's the last thing, the last thread that can I trust this? So go for it, even though you don't trust yourself. and you will trust yourself by doing it.
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
Oh, thank you so much, Inaya. Thank you so much, each and every one of you that have been tuning in to this episode, and probably others on Awaken and Ascend. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and so that we can expand our audience, reach more people, and help us uplift humanity and raise the vibration of the planet. I'd love to know your biggest takeaways from this too. So please comment below and get in touch with either one of us if you'd like to discover more. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Bye for now.